I'm not aware of there being championship match or anything in that regard. Let's have a look and see what we can find. Evolve preview, see if there's anything coming up. WWE Evolve is changing the game. Let's have a look, see if there's anything in news. There's obviously no preview that they put up on the WWE website. No, nothing. Nothing, no articles or anything in regards to a bit of a preview. If I put in WWE Evolve, sometimes there is a post that goes up from like Mr. Stone. Here we go. Who have you got when Keanu Carver goes 1-on-1 against Shawn Legacy in this week's main event? So we've got that match. Here's Shawn. Okay, we got Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. Let's go over to... Those are some albums that I was just looking at. Here. So here's Shawn. Shawn says, the future steps up tonight on Evolve. Shawn Legacy answers the call for Timothy Thatcher to go head-to-head with Keanu Carver. Right? So we know about Shawn Legacy, Keanu Carver. Jack Cartwheel is taking on... So that's Jamal Hampton, who had a few comments to make around Hulk Hogan. He was in Unseen. I think, am I right in saying, I didn't want to say during Unseen because I wasn't 100%, but is that the person that used to be Troy Yearwoods? I think that's the person that used to be Troy Yearwoods. And now he's Jamal Hampton. And in Unseen, he put up one of Hogan's quotes. And he was like, is this a guy we really should be celebrating? And we included that in Unseen. So Jack Cartwheel takes on Jamal Hampton with, that's going to be Cappuccino Jones, isn't it, in his corner. So there we go. Those are a couple of matches that we've got coming up tonight. Jamal Hampton, Jack Cartwheel, Keanu Carver against Shawn Legacy. So looks okay. I mean, that'll be a big match, to be honest. I mean, when we're talking about who's next to kind of fight for that Evolve Championship, the names I think of are Keanu Carver, Shawn Legacy, if he is still around, because we have been using him on NXT. So I don't know quite when he leaves Evolve and becomes just an outright NXT superstar. But at the moment, he is still part of Evolve. And so that's a pretty good match. You could make an argument that's like a number one contenders match. I also think about Idris, who's on a good run, I believe still undefeated in Evolve. So you'd probably look to have him in the conversation as well. So yeah, I'd say that match has got a lot riding on it. This one, we haven't seen much of these guys. I mean, we haven't seen much of Jamal Hampton. He's only had a couple of matches. Jack Cartwheel, brilliant tag team. Him with Cappuccino Jones, I mean, so good. So for me, I'm a bit disappointed we're putting them in singles matches because let's just keep going with this Jack Cartwheel, Cappuccino Jones tag team. They're giving me really strong like Fraxium vibes with like the pace that they work at. So yeah, fine, whatever. Well, you know, it'll be fine. So I don't know if there's anything there that's like mind-blowing, but we know that Evolve's just a lot of fun. So looking forward to seeing what they've got for us. Breaking news, Trump is going to pardon P. Diddy in order to get MAGA to stop talking about Epstein, says William. I don't know if that is true. I don't know if what William is telling me is true. Probably is not. Rise Above said, did you pre-order the new LJM figures? No, I didn't, but first of all, they're in America. They're not in the UK, so it's a little complicated, but very possible for me to have pre-ordered. I could have still found a way. But no, I've got a choice to make in regards to do I want to get those new LJM figures or not. And I think it's a little difficult because I've already got a collection of those kind of Walmart figures. They're kind of retro. The packaging is retro. And so do I want to now start getting the LJM ones as well? Probably leaning towards no, to be honest. Plus also, I think, hasn't the first series got like Logan Paul in it? That's enough for me to go, Do I need a Logan Paul figure? If I'm going to get those LJN style ones, I'm going to end up getting, I want all of them. And do I want my collection to have a Logan Paul figure in it? I mean, I've just got to keep my fingers crossed they don't bring him into the flipping Superstars line, to be honest. That's a bridge I might have to cross anyway. So, yeah, a bit of a, do I need to start a new collection with, seeing Logan Paul being in that first series? That was enough for me to go, no, I'm okay. If that first series was just absolutely, I mean, the Hogan looks great. Make no mistake about it, the Hogan looks great. I think the Jesse looks great in that line as well. So, I mean, some of them look brilliant. So, I'm certainly not down on the line. But, yeah, do I need to start a whole new flipping series again when I've got all those Walmart Superstars ones? So, I didn't. But I got to admit, I'm not surprised that the Hogan one is sold out. Not surprised by that. It's great. It's retro in its styling. It's got the old school packaging. Like, I can see why there would be excitement about it. I think they're going to do that LJN line as a Target exclusive. And then I think they're going to do I don't even know if, is it like a Remco kind of style? I think it's like a Remco style, that the WWE Superstars ones. I mean, I'll grab some because I've got loads of them. I love them. These, I do still collect figures. I've got about 60 of these. So that's the British Bulldog one. And you can see the packaging, this old style packaging. I just love these because, I mean, they come with cloth goods. And I just think the face scan on them looks good. The face scan, it looks just like the normal kind of Mattel Elites. Like, you can see that really good work's gone into that. The face scan, face molding. Like the detail on the ring gear. And he comes with a cloth cape as well. If I was to get this out of its packaging and actually get into the accessory that's at the back, it would be like a Union Jack cloth cape thing. So I just think that looks so good. It would look even better if I got it out and kind of put all the stuff on. And then I got that one from Wrestling Shop. Oh, it's a green one that's gone invisible. It's actually signed. If I angle it, it's actually signed on the packaging. You can sort of just make it out. But yeah, it's flipping a green shirt with green writing, so it's kind of not showing very well. But that's a Jake the Snake one. Probably should have picked up a better one. That one gives you a good idea of what they look like. And these are Walmart exclusives, like you get them from Walmart. And so, love them. I think they're absolutely brilliant. So I've got that as a collection. Those are the figures that I collect now. I've kind of really dialed back on everything else. So yeah, when it came to those LJM ones, it was like, oh man, do I need to start a whole new collection? It's kind of, it's one of those where I think I've got to the point where you have to make that decision quite early in the process. Because if I was to pick up one or two, I'm in. That's it. I'm in. You know, once I've started, I'm in. So like with these now, I'm in. And it's quite fortunate actually, because I started getting them when I went to America last year. I saw them in Walmarts and I was just like, I knew I liked them anyway, but when I actually saw them in person, I was like, I gotta get them. So I ended up getting a load, and then just by chance, Wrestling Shop started selling them in the UK. So I can actually get them in the UK. Otherwise, I would have to be buying them on eBay and getting them shipped over all the time. It's so much more convenient to just get them from Wrestling Shop. So yeah, it's actually worked out really, really well. Really well. Daze, now that we know what's happened with the Hulkster, do you think WWE will do a similar tribute to Vince when he passes away, or even more? Well, I think you are definitely going to get a graphic, and you're definitely going to get a video package, and you're definitely going to get the commentators talking about him, right? I think a lot is going to depend on what happens with this legal case, because if he's found guilty, I mean, look, Hogan made comments, racist comments, and as a result, like that's one thing, you know. There's been a split reaction to it, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that wish that we didn't focus on that, and then there's other people out there that can't focus on anything but that, and so it's been a split reaction, hasn't it? Right. And I think the truth with a subject that's kind of sensitive like this is that it's a sliding scale. I think that you can be massively offended by what he said, of course, and, you know, not happy with the lack of an apology, and you just cannot move from that position. Everything else is irrelevant, and I think that's understandable. But equally, you could be the other end of the scale where, you know, you hopefully were disappointed by his comments, but he, you know, it doesn't kind of ruin your enjoyment of the character, or, you know, that Terry the man has done lots of good stuff. I mean, there's been lots of reports of great things that he has done as a person as well. I think when you focus on like the negative aspects, it can outshadow like some of the positive aspects. And, you know, I mean, the stories of him helping black wrestlers as well. There was a story that was told, I can't remember who told it, about Kamala. Oh, it was Ric Flair. Ric Flair told the story about how Hogan found out how much money Kamala was making. And he went and spoke about, we need to get Kamala more money. He went and spoke to Vince about getting Kamala's like pay increased when he found out about how much Kamala was making. And so, you know, you kind of, you've got the scale, and wherever you are on that scale is a personal choice, right? But I think when it comes to Vince, with him being found guilty of sex trafficking, I think we're in a different situation then. I think like that feels different to me. That one is like, you've been found guilty in the court of law of like sex trafficking, which, you know, carries like going to prison, like a serious kind of consequences. And that one feels different, does not feel the same. I mean, for starters, the punishment is not the same. So you can't really compare what Hogan did to what Vince is being alleged to have done, and just act as if they're the same thing, because the punishments are not the same thing. So that would say to me the crime is not the same thing. So I think this is going to really depend on how these next few years go, to be honest with you. I think that I don't know how the crowd would react to Vince. I don't know how the crowd would react. And again, it's hard to know, because we don't know if he's guilty or not, or if he's been found guilty yet. He has claimed he is innocent, right? He's claimed he's innocent all throughout this thing. And of course he would, right? I don't think too many people are believing that, but of course he would claim that. But next few years and how this story plays out, because we don't know the ending of it yet, I think that would dictate kind of what WWE would do. And if he's found guilty and ends up like going to prison, then you're going to have to mention it. I can't see how you do the show without mentioning it if he passes away in prison, right? But are you going to be doing 10 bell salutes for someone that's passed away in prison? Because make no mistake about it, if this goes to court and he's found guilty, I mean, the consequences are obviously really serious, really serious. So, yeah, this is one where we don't know the end of the story yet. Michael said, Hogan, let's move on. Wrestling fans and wrestling, move on, says Michael. Vince is full of love, says Michael. He's full of something. Seeb said, last night I went through the year and I thought to myself that the criticism has been a little bit overdone. If you dig into it, we've had a lot of good moments, like Cena's turn, Breaker after Mania. The weekly shows have been the turn-off, says Hasib. Tom, shout out to you. Hannah said, Daze, what surprises do we think will be at SummerSlam? It would be awesome to have SummerSlam back to late August and to have more builds. I might go to day 2 so that I can see my idol Cena. Surprises. I mean, I can't get off the Seth cash-in. I think the Seth cash-in is a real option. I think that's one that we could be looking at. In regards to the main event, I think we're all expecting outside interference, what with it being a street fight. I think Randy could get involved in that main event. I think there is a chance of Cody leaving with the belt and Cena leaving with the belt and Cody needing another feud to kind of keep him distracted. And so, I think that Randy could be that person. Some people are thinking The Rock, and I do understand that. I'm certainly not saying there's no chance. I'm just saying that I tend to go off what the reports are saying. Because, I mean, really, if I didn't do that, I would just be guessing, The Rock being there would just be guesswork. So, yeah, the reports are not saying that he's there. There's nothing doing the round saying he's definitely going to be there. I don't know what his schedule is, so I just can't sit here and say, yeah, I think he's going to be there, because it would be nothing but a guess. But the reports have said that there's been no internal conversation. So if we're not getting The Rock, I think we get something else. And who is it going to be? I mean, again, the streets are saying there's been a big falling out with Travis Scott. So don't know that it would be him. Would it be that we actually have someone kind of helping out John? Could it be that someone comes down? Could it be Logan that comes down and interferes? Could it be that we do a Cody Logan feud? I mean, I would hope not. I don't think that would be greatly received. I think people would be a lot more into Randy turning heel, and then we do like a heel Randy babyface Cody feud. Some people obviously think we might get the double turn as well. I think it was Body Slam Net said there's been no word of there being a turning Cody heel. So again, I can only go off what the reports say. Are the reports true? I have no idea. We know what they're like, the dirt sheets. They've got a certain percentage when it comes to accuracy. So, I mean, these could be wrong, these reports. But I'd rather be sitting here and telling you what reports are saying and what I'm seeing and what I'm reading, rather than just sitting here and just blindly guessing, So, yeah, I think there's definitely opportunity for some surprises. Edward said, have you calmed down since the member stream? And not in the let's pick on Edward today, because I will lay the smackdown on you, said Edwards. Trust me on that, says Edwards. Oh. It's like when a kid has a tantrum in it. It's like, when you say to a kid in a shop, no, you can't have that chocolate bar, and they like start stomping their feet and everything. It's kind of like, that's the vibe I get from that comment. Oh, Edwards, I would not want to tangle with you. Your nickname in this community is Fast Hands. Yeah. So I know to tread carefully. Yeah, I know to tread carefully. Miss Dow Jr. said, what are your thoughts about the SummerSlam card this year compared to last year? Well, I mean, whenever I think about last year, I think top end, really a lot of shows are kind of really... It's not so true of pro wrestling, of course, but it is obviously true when it comes to MMA and boxing that it's really the main events that are the guiding light, yeah? It's not so true of pro wrestling, because you could have a really great card but a rubbish main event. But last year, you think about Cody and you think about Solo and you think about what they were trying to achieve with that match. And obviously it didn't work. It was a way of bringing Roman Reigns back. I do understand that. But I think the actual match itself, it wasn't big enough. It wasn't a dream match. I don't think any of us really saw Solo being that level. I don't think they'd built Solo up very well, to be honest. I think Solo also struggled when Roman went away. And I think that it was a real challenge, honestly. So I think if you look at this card, it's obviously hard to compare, because this card, I think the main event is tons better, right? Loads better. But I think if you also look at this card, it's 2 days. We've got a lot more matches. So if we were to take this down to just 1 day, we could probably find a card that's comparable to last year, right? You might even be able to make a card that's not as good as last year. But equally, you could take it down and you could have a card that just blows last year away. I think this year is a good card that's big, spread across 2 days, and I think you've got some good matches in there. I think there's some matches that are so-so. I mean, the Jelly Roll match, you know, for example, I don't think anyone is really that excited about. I don't think anyone's that crazy about that match. So that's one that's a little bit of a down. I don't know how many people are that excited for Tiffany versus Jade Cargill as well. You know, Tiffany is someone that I think is okay in the ring. She doesn't give you consistent bangers. And actually, my concern with her is that she really lays it in. Really puts in like her moves. And there's not that I think she's dangerous. I just think that it would not shock me if she injured someone, you know? It wouldn't shock me if she catches someone, busts their nose with her knee, or, you know, an elbow catches them. I mean, listen, this is wrestling. You're going to get these kinds of things, right? But it wouldn't surprise me if something like that happened. So, you know, you have a look at Tiffany and Jade, you go, not sure, because Jade's not someone that's going to lead the dance. You know, Jade is very limited. Tiffany does not blow me away with her matches, and actually I think she can be not reckless, but really, like, when she hits moves, like, she lays it in. When she does drop kicks, she really lays it in, and that's good if you think the person is safe. But I've just got a question mark, honestly. I really won't be shocked if she catches someone with a big elbow or a big boot or a big knee, or, do you know what I mean, like swantons onto them, or prettiest moonsaults onto their face. I just think that you know, she's only been in the business a few years. It's really, we've moved so quick with her. I think it's really unfair, to be honest, how fast we've moved with her. She uses it to brag about. She uses it as a way of kind of making out like that she's ahead of schedule and she's brilliant and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know. I just sort of look at it and think it's a little bit of a concern. So those 2 matches are a concern. But I think a lot of stuff in there, like the tag match, Gunther, CM Punk, main event. I think you can make an argument that there's more matches this year that are appealing, and I don't even know if you could say have better builds. The builds have not been brilliant, so I don't know if you can even make that argument. But I think by and large, this is a better card. It's just hard to compare because it's across 2 days. So, yeah. I thought you would be more of a Mattel retro guy to go with the Hasbros, said Wrestle with Andy. Well, do you know what? I was actually a bit of a retro guy, but the problem was that they started to release the figures in lots of different ways. So they had them in the shops when they kind of brought them out, and they were in Smith's, and then Smith's, I think, stopped carrying them. Then they started to do things that were like exclusive in like packs of 4 on the Mattel Creations. So then, like, you had to get them, like, through that way. And then, like, there was, I think Wrestling Shop had them, and then I think they stopped carrying them. And it's just been it's been really difficult to kind of get your hands on the whole range, to be honest, right? And I just have not been kind of dedicated to the retros enough, because they went away for a long time, and then they ended up bringing them back. So, and I think when they brought them back more just on Mattel Creations, more so than it being a line that was in the shops. So that meant that they were doing like packs of 4 in those kind of boxes. So to be honest, I do have a lot of those, but because of distribution, really, it's kind of really affected me collecting them. And now I'm at the situation where I don't know what I've got and what I haven't got anymore. The great thing about the WWE Superstar line in Walmart, I think that started in 2022. I think there's been about 15 series of those figures. They only release about 4 series a year, right? They don't flood the market with them. And I much prefer that. If you think about the retros back in the day, or the Hasbros, they used to come out in a series and they would go in the shops. You wouldn't get another series for at least 2-3 months. you'd quite often go into the shops and see the same figures for a long time. And that's because the amount of figures that were coming out were, much lower in numbers. If you are someone that's going to collect Mattel figures, you're going to get overwhelmed. There's a new Elite series pretty much every month. There's new Basic series every month, if not a couple. You've got Ultimate editions that are coming out throughout the year. They do the Monday night figures that are exclusive to, I don't know if that's Target or Walmart, but you've got the Monday Night War line. You've got Legends figures that I think are Target exclusives. And they've got like the WrestleMania sets, the SummerSlam sets, the Survivor Series sets that come out around those times as well. It's just, there's loads. There are, and they've got defining moments that are coming out, and there's ringside collectible exclusives that they do as well. Like, if you want to collect Mattel figures, you are going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get overwhelmed because there is just so much stuff that they are pumping out. And honestly, with these Superstars figures, they are just like 4 waves a year. They're only at Walmart or Wrestling Shop, and it is just so much easier to collect. You don't feel overwhelmed. It's just, I really like the product, and I like the cloth goods. I like the old school packaging, and it's just, I'm really happy with like that as being my collection. I'm really happy with just focusing on those. And with the retros, as I said, they've been in shop, they've been out of shops, they've done them on Mattel Creations, they've gone away, they've brought them back, and it's like flipping my head spinning. That's kind of where we are. So yeah, I agree with you. I was interested. But unfortunately, just, my head flipping as spinning. When it comes to retros, I feel a lot happier with where I am with the Superstar line. There was actually, earlier today on This Morning, we've got a TV show called This Morning. They actually went to a car boot sale. They had a guy there that had the Kamala with the moon in the packaging, had a letter of authenticity. And he was talking about like he's been collecting his whole life. There's only 24 in the world, and he's got one, and it's worth £25,000. So they showed that on This Morning. And he also had like hand painted Hasbros that were from Hasbro, and prototypes. And like he had about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8 figures, I think, on the table. And the guy was like, I reckon you've got about £60,000 worth of stuff here. And he had 8 figures on the table. Obviously, the big one was the Kamala that was 25,000. But he was like, a lot of these other ones are going to be 8 to 10. And he was like, I reckon you got about 60 grand here. So, yeah, that was earlier today on This Morning. Check it out if you've not had a chance to see it. What do you do off camera when you're not recording or live streaming? Do you hang out with friends? No. Family? Or do you watch TV? No. Or do you have time to toy hunts? No. When I'm not on camera, so for example, I'll get up around about, say, 7, something like that. Get up at 7. I'll try and have dinner. Then I'll come down and I'll go through my Twitter notifications so that I know what's happening in the world of wrestling. Yeah, is there any kind of urgent news that I need to be aware of? But I'll just have a look, see how many things I've been tagged in, and I'll see where the conversation is, and I'll kind of catch up with that. On a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I have a member stream at 10, right? So if I've had dinner at 7, maybe I'm getting to my Twitter account at, say, 7:45, 8, something like that. I'll go on there for about an hour and a half, just trying to get up to speed with a few things. And then really I've got to turn my attention to the member streams. I've got to turn my attention to whatever stream I'm doing that day. So before streams, it's setting things up, looking at social media, looking at the news. It's having something to eat, and there's really, not much time for anything else. There's certainly not sitting down watching TV, right? Then I do the streams, and that'll take me from about 10 on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and 11 o'clock other times. It'll take me from that time through to, 3 in the morning, something like that. about 3:30 in the morning UK time. Then, of course, I've got to do Unseen, haven't I? So I hopefully have already done a bit of work before the streams. So then everything that's happened during the streams, I need to catch up with. So I do that. I tend to do review videos for Raw, NXT, Smackdown. So then I have to do those as well. So I have to do Unseen, get the tags done, get them shared, get the review done. By the time all of that is done, it's probably about 7 in the morning at this point now. It's probably about 7 o'clock in the morning. So at that point, I've been up about 12 hours, right? And then at that point, that's when I will start prepping a members quiz, or I'll try and make some graphics, or I'll try and do, like, it's always something for the channel. And that'll take me through to about 10 o'clock. About 10 o'clock. And then once I get through to about 10 o'clock, that's when I'm like, okay, where am I? What do I need to do? Right? Sometimes I might go to bed at that point if I'm feeling tired. Might try and get like 8 hours sleep instead of 7. And so I might go to bed at that point, or I might continue with some other bits. It might be I need to do some research for the weekend, or I might, again, graphics or whatever, you know. I mean, as of right now, I have got to get the members quiz for tomorrow sorted. I've got to get it done. And that is going to take me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, because I don't know how many people are going to play tomorrow. And so in my mind, I always like to have about 100 slides normally. This one, I really think I'm going to need double that. I think I'm going to need 200, because I just don't know how many people are going to be playing. And the amount of people I already know are playing, if they show up, it's already going to be the biggest quiz we've ever done, right? On the members thing. So normally we had 4 factions. I think there's 6 that are playing this week. So it's all, my 100 slides ain't going to cover it. I'm going to need more. So I need to make sure that, you know, maybe I'd get away with 150. Perhaps 150 would be enough. But this is part of the problem. You just don't know. I just don't know. And the worst thing would be to run out of questions, wouldn't it? Or run out of slides. So I need to make sure I'm ready and I'm prepared and I've got. So I need to find 200 images, get them all labeled and be ready for tomorrow. That is going to take hours. So yeah, after this stream, I'll start working on Unseen. I probably won't do something on the second channel, but I was really interested in getting people's thoughts on Unreal now that people have had a chance to watch it. I was really interested in talking about that. So, and also I need to get like people's SummerSlam predictions on the second channel. So, do you know what I mean? Like, I've got 2 videos there I could do for the second channel, but I just don't know that I'm going to find the time. So the idea of sitting down and watching TV or sitting down and playing a video game is so not possible that, yeah, just got to do the best you can though, haven't you? You know, and that's all we're doing, just trying to do the best we can, really. Daze, are you still using a VPN? Yes. That is impressive, the lengths you go to for WWE. Your former mistress, AEW, would have loved that from you nowadays. Well, I just felt they treated me wrong, to be honest. I just felt they treated me wrong. So, yeah, I do. It's a real shame, honestly, that people can't join us in like Europe without a VPN. Like, it was better when they were showing it live on YouTube and we could all just go there and watch at the same time. That's how this started. That's how we was doing this. We were just going there and watching it, you know. But then they stopped doing that. And so now I have to VPN and go to Tubi, and it's not as good, honestly, because I think I get adverts at different times to some of you, and I'm sure you get adverts to different times than me. People have said use an ad blocker, and I've not had a chance to look. There you go. There's another job that can get added to the list. So I sort of look at those things, and I'm like, Okay, that's a bit of a barrier. But, I mean, there's still a nice amount of people that join us for these streams and I think enjoy this stream. And I love Evolve. I mean, I would not stop watching Evolve. But I think if, if these streams started to struggle with the amount of people that were joining us, to be honest with you, I'd probably just watch Evolve and not stream it. But I'd still watch it. I love the show. And I kind of love our little community we've got here as well. So I'm very grateful for everyone that joins us on these Wednesday streams because I probably could use my time a bit more constructively. Maybe some of that stuff that I was just talking about, I could be spending a couple of hours doing that instead of doing this. But I love Evolve. I would never stop watching it. But yeah, I'm grateful for everyone that joins us. That's, why we stream it. Edward, shout out to you becoming a supporter of the channel. Appreciate it. Fast hands. And Batman Big Fan said, I love you, Daze, and I'm sorry. Well, Batman Big Fan, we sorted out the members drama, and I think we ended up in a good place. Bryn said, I'm just watching the first episode of Unreal. I won't be able to watch Evolve tonight because it's not on YouTube in the UK. I know, that's what we were just saying. It's so frustrating, but that's why I'm grateful that people still stop by. I completely understand, yeah. It's so frustrating. It's such a shame that they decided to do that. I feel like they dangled it in front of us. They were like, oh, you want to watch this, don't you? And then they took it away. So now you have to VPN and go to Tubi. Thankfully, Tubi's free, though, so... Aaron, hello. Hope you're doing well, buds. Daze, tomorrow, remember, join the member stream. Keep forgetting to join. I'll remember to join. Oh, right, got you. Yes, well, we've started to kind of advertise them a new way, and that's, people now see them on the channel. And I never like doing that because I think it just looks a bit like, if you're not a member, you're missing out. And that's not why I do it. I went years doing member streams and not doing that, but the members kept telling me they kept forgetting when they were, and actually the amount of people that now join us on the streams has drastically improved. I mean, it has really more than doubled, and in some occasions trebled. It's trebled the amount of people that have joined us. And that's not people becoming members to join us. It's just people weren't finding the streams before. So we have started doing it that way now. And we are seeing a lot more people, a lot more members actually joining the streams. So goods, that side of it. And you can all thank King Yeti. And you can thank Phantom67 and Dormouse and all these amazing people that have put in gifted memberships because they've just burst that side of the channel into life. And so, pressure on me to make sure that we're doing some good stuff over there. And I think we are. I think people are enjoying the members stuff, the games that we play, and, we do 3 streams a week. So, do you know what I mean? We're certainly giving it attention. So, yeah, some good stuff going on. So, yeah, if you're around, swing by. Say hello. Tony said, R.I.P. Aussie, the Prince of Darkness. Everyone keep Sharon in your prayers, says Tony. How you doing, Daze? What's the match you're looking forward to at SummerSlam, said Mayhem Gaming. Well, it's the main event. It's a boring answer, but honestly, I think that I did put a tweet out earlier saying I think this is one of the hardest shows to predict. There'll be people out there that will say no. It's easy. I know which way every match is going, but I'm just being honest. I think this is challenging. Normally, I go into shows really happy and confident that I can predict like where we're going to go. Mainly because you've heard rumors about what's next, I mean, if you know what WrestleMania is meant to be, then you stand a good chance of figuring out who's going to win the Rumble, yeah? Or who's going to win Elimination Chamber. Or, you've got a good chance because you know where we're heading. The thing with SummerSlam is I have no idea what Survivor Series looks like. Absolutely no idea. I haven't heard not a single rumor about what Survivor Series looks like. And I don't know what Crown Jewel looks like. I haven't heard a single rumor about Crown Jewel. So obviously we can sit here and say, okay, when it comes to Cena, we've heard his last match is meant to be against Gunther, so he's surely going to turn heel, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be at SummerSlam. He could do it at Survivor Series, or he could do it at Crown Jewel. Like, he doesn't have to turn face. He's a heel at the moment. He doesn't have to turn face at SummerSlam. So you kind of go, okay, well, that doesn't give me much to work with. You could make the argument that Cena cheated and won the title from Cody, and now Cody's going to get it back. Yeah? I think you can make that argument that SummerSlam is where Cody gets his title back. Are they really going to have John go over Cody twice? I mean, they could. They absolutely could. Because, as I said, if Randy comes down, you know, this is a Randy that feels cheated himself. You know, he was defeated by John in St. Louis, right? In St. Louis. So he was cheated by John there. And, you know, if he comes down, it might look like he's coming down to right or wrong, help his friend, help Cody Rhodes, but actually end up turning on Cody. I'm thinking it's something like that, but again, it's only guesswork. It's only guesswork. Because, you know, John's been talking about ruining wrestling and counting the dates down. And are we just abandoning that now? Are we just abandoning that? Or are we going to keep going with that? Part of me thinks we keep going with that. Part of me thinks that he is going to keep talking about ruining wrestling. And he's going to keep counting dates down. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's on Raw on Monday doing that exact conversation. Cody will then just need something else to get on with. And so, you know, this is where he goes into a Randy feud. I think that is a very plausible outcome. I think that absolutely could happen. I think also what could happen is that we do see the double turn. Now, it's been reported they've got no plans to turn Cody heel, so that's why I'm not selecting that as my answer. But I think that, you know, you have seen John kind of acting a bit strange, like thinking, is this right, what I'm doing? There's been a few looks, hasn't there, where he's kind of looking out at the crowd. He could easily be berating the crowd, like as he walks to the back after his segment. He could be like, shut up, you don't know what you're on about, leave me alone, don't touch my belt, and all that kind of stuff. But he's not acting that way at all. He just kind of puts the belt over his shoulder. He walks to the entranceway. And what we've started to see him do is turn around and look at the crowds. And I think, like, take it in for real. Because each crowd is in front of, like, this is one of his final ones. So he, I think, looks around, really takes it in, right? Looks a bit glum. Turns around, holds the belt up, and walks away. And it's like, you know, if he was heeling it up, he would berate the fans, he'd berate the crowd, and we're not getting that from John. So a lot of people are like, oh, I think he's going to turn face again soon, you know. I think he's going to turn back face. And is that going to be SummerSlam? There's so many moving parts because The Rock could get involved, the heel turn could, or the double turn could happen. The Randy situation we spoke about could happen. Like, this, I just think there's so many things that could go down that I just think it's hard to predict. I think it's hard to have any confidence in which direction this is going. So I really love the main event for that reason. I also think they need to make sure, because they've done it once at WrestleMania, and they know the reaction that match got. You ain't got to look very hard to go on social media after WrestleMania and see that everyone was down on that match, and that everyone this year is saying WrestleMania was, you know, not very good, and there being a lot of criticism. You're now doing it again. You've decided that the best thing to do is do that match again. Well, if you're going to do that, you've got to know we need to fix what was wrong the first time, yeah? Wasn't a very well-received match, so we've got to find a way of putting on the match that, you know, people want, or will be better received. And I think one of the ways they've done that is by making it a street fight. So now we can use weapons. Now we can go in the crowd. Now we can kind of not have to worry about the rules and having to actually wrestle. This is going to be a fight. And I think it's going to be a better match as a result, because, to be honest, Cena's slow. And, you know, he's just not looking great in 2025. And so, you know, this kind of thing's going to make the match a bit better. But will there be other shenanigans that they employ? So I think because it's the top title, because it's Cena's last SummerSlam, because it's a rematch of a disastrous match at WrestleMania, like, this to me is the match. I'd be lying if I was to say there was another match I'm more looking forward to. I'd be lying if I was to sit here and say I'm more looking forward to the tag match. I mean, it's going to be fun, and I'm sure it's going to be a bonkers match that's going to be amazing, but at the end of the day, it's for the tag titles. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, a team's going to win and they're going to become tag champs. Like, great. I don't care about that division, right? The tag belts don't mean anything. So to me, Cody, Cena's last SummerSlam, the main event, WWE Championship, like the significance of all of this, the disaster of a meeting the first time. I'd be lying if I was to say there was, you know, if there was one match, let's put it this way. If there's one match that you could watch this weekend, what would it be? You can only pick one. All the other matches you don't get to watch, right? You don't get to watch them and you don't know the results. You wouldn't know the results. You don't get the results and you don't get to watch them. So which one would you choose? Because to be honest, if I could watch that tag match and just find out who won, you know, the main event. But but the main event is the one that I care the most about because it's for the top title and it's Cena's last SummerSlam and it's the biggest match. So it's that one. But I'm just explaining it in detail because it's a bit of a cop-out answer as well, isn't it? It's a bit of a cop-out answer because it's the main event. So it should be the one that we're most excited for. But I think, like, in-ring wise, the tag team match is going to be amazing. I also think, how can you be down on Rhea, Io, Naomi? I know that it's pretty much the same as what we saw at WrestleMania, just changing Bianca for Naomi, but I'm still really excited for it. I don't think the main event's going to be the best match. I think even Sammy and Karrion hopefully click, you know, hopefully, because they're both great talents. And their matches just have not grabbed me, right, so far. I just don't think the chemistry has been right between them. So hopefully at SummerSlam it does click and we get the match that we were hoping for and we were, you know, waiting on. Some people have obviously loved the matches so far, but for me personally, they've underwhelmed. They've not reached the level I would expect for Sammy and for Karrion. Both great talents, just haven't seen that mind-blowing match yet. You know, I don't think anything they've done so far has been 4 stars or above. I think it's been in the 3-star range. So, and they're capable of 4-star plus matches. So let's see if they can deliver something. But yeah, the women's match, the tag match. I think even Dominic AJ could be really fun, to be honest. Dominic bumping around and AJ kind of smashing into him. We saw a glimpse of that on Monday in that 6-person tag match. It was really fun. When those two were in the ring, Dominic just bumping around. Like, again, that won't be the best match, but it could still be fun. So, yeah, I don't think this is too bad of a card. Daze, Bret Hart, Bulldog, #1 moment in SummerSlam history. Deserved. Mr. Dow Jr. said, do you know that most of your streams with 100,000 views are from UFC and boxing? The first 3 UFC pay-per-views this year had 100,000 and 200,000. That's how popular UFC is on this channel, says Mr. Dow Jr. It's very popular. UFC is very popular. And, yeah, you know, I love, we used to do UFC all the time. So it's it's very good. It's very popular. Brian said, whoever gets beaten down at the end of this week's Smackdown between Cody and Cena will win the match at SummerSlam. Aaron said, I love the reviews on the second channel. I watch the shows, but I don't get to watch all of the live streams. I like to know what you and everyone scores them. I'm usually around the same range as you, says Aaron. Aaron, shout out to you, bud. Yeah. to be honest, I enjoy doing those as well, because I think you're right. It's a summary. Sometimes in my mind, I think it's not really worth it, because a lot of what I say in those streams I've said on the watch-alongs. But obviously, it's really the primary purpose is to give you guys a platform to share your thoughts. This is why you don't have to, in those videos, like review every match. You haven't got to say, you know, I give this match this score, this match this score. You can use it to just like dial in on one thing or whatever it is that's really like, I gotta talk about this, you know. That main event segment was like not it, because blah, 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 blah. So really, its primary purpose is to give more of an opportunity for you guys to get your thoughts heard, because we all know that, you know, I answer questions. I like to go in depth in the answers, because I don't see the benefit in just giving a surface answer and not going a bit deeper. So yeah, I like to try and go that little bit further. But in regards to so that ticks that box. But in regards to like summarizing what has been said throughout the stream, I think it does serve that purpose as well, doesn't it? So we can kind of go back and this is what we said during that segment. This is what we said during this segment. This is kind of how we felt about the whole show as a whole. Blah, 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 blah. So yeah, I'm pleased that people find those review videos useful. And yeah, they're good. They serve a purpose, definitely. James said, I don't even watch UFC if Daze doesn't do it. I don't, to be honest. If I don't get a chance to do it for whatever reason, I also don't get a chance to watch them. So, which is a shame, because like a lot of those you don't even have to pay for. They're not even pay-per-views in the UK. So we're very fortunate in that regard. We're very fortunate. Trini said, I'm looking forward to the tag match. If it's half as good as the Smackdown match, it's going to be worth my time. Oh, it will be. Absolutely, it will be. I can't see how it's not going to, you know, deliver. I am good, James. Just a couple of JDs, and I feel warm inside, said Harbour Binger. Right, let me get the Tubi up, because I know that it drops in like 2 minutes. And I've not even got Tubi on screen at the moment. Let me pop this over here. Bum, 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 bum. I'm excited for the Becky Lyra match, says Trini. The tag match, AJ Dominic and Punk Gunther. Yeah, Punk Gunther, that's a good shout as well, actually. Because I don't know if Seth comes down, and I really want to know if he comes down. So that's a good shout, that is. Okay, it is... Is it up yet? No, it's not up yet. It tends to go up at 5-2, doesn't it? Right. They have fumbled the live on YouTube aspect of Evolve, and it's a shame, said it's Bryn. Yes. Well, I don't know why they fumbled. I think they fumbled it because they are interested in marathons. So they're interested in just doing marathons of shows, aren't they? So I think when you get to like SummerSlam, I don't know if they're doing it right now, but what they were doing for, was it Backlash? They were just doing like these day-long, week-long streams where they just show matches from those events. The thing about YouTube is, I believe it certainly was true, you can only show or only do one live stream at any one time. So you can only do one live stream at any one time. So that means that if you're going to do your week-long marathon, you would have to end it just so then you can do Evolve live and then go back to doing your week-long marathon again. So I think and wonder if that's why they have stopped doing it. Because when you get to these PLEs, they like to do these like week-long streams, which I bet they get some serious views. I mean, like, there's always a good few thousand people that are watching them. So I bet they get some, like, for a week, non-stop, I bet they get some serious views. So you can sort of understand that it's not worth interrupting those for the sake of, like, Evolve. So, and certainly Evolve that's, like, pre-recorded. So they can just put it up, instead of streaming it, just put the file up as a video. So that's what they do now, unfortunately. They just put it up as a video the next day on YouTube. So I don't know that that's ever going to change. To be honest, I would love for Evolve to get its own channel. I mean, if Evolve had its own YouTube channel, it could just go up there, couldn't it? You just put it up there and let it air live on there. But I don't think they'll ever do that. I think NXT had its own channel. I don't know if it still does, but I think NXT had its own channel. Obviously, we know Volt's got its own channel. WCW's got its own channel, and there's word that there's an ECW channel. So like Evolve could have its own channel where they go live on there, but I don't know. Maybe if it gets more popular, they would look to do that. But it's a vicious circle, isn't it? I don't know that it's going to get more popular. Unless they kind of, invest in it first. So, it's one of those. I'm excited for 319, Duplessis and Chimaev. It's one of the biggest fights of the year. Will you watch it? Don't know. Mr. Dale Jr., I don't know. When it comes to, you know the answers. When it comes to UFC, of the week of the show, I'll have a look and see what we've got on, and then it's a case of making a decision then. Edward said, all jokes aside, I hope you are well, love the banter and have the chemistry. Crazy that we're such good friends. We are good friends. You have a friend for life, says Edward. Edward, shout out to you, buds. Yes. Just nothing but bants. Nothing but bants. Oh, that would be horrible, actually, if people took that serious and people were getting offended or whatever. It's why I pick on James, because I know he can take it. He knows it's just banter, So yeah, it's just bants. Right. Anyway, talking of bants, we are 3 minutes away from this week's Evolve. What was the better SummerSlam, 95, 2005 or 2015? I think 2005 because of the stories and the stage. Don't like that question, to be honest. I think it's a boring conversation comparing three random shows. I think that the community would probably be more interested in something that was a bit more kind of all-inclusive, like what's the best SummerSlam ever, rather than just picking three random years. So for me, when it comes to SummerSlam, I really enjoyed the 2002 one. So 2002, where you've got Brock and Rock, and you got Shawn, and you got Triple H. Good. And we've spoke about 2005. We've spoke about that I watched that in Butlins, and the whole Hogan, Shawn Michaels stuff. But I think picking three random years and having, because we're obviously not, we got a minute until blooming Evolve starts, right? So we're not going to be able to deep dive into it, but I don't know, a question like that where we deep dive into just three random years, don't think the community would find that interesting. It's Bryn again, said they could put Evolve live stream on the Vault channel. Instead, the Vault channel is live, showing basically the same thing WWE channel is showing. But the only thing about the Vault channel is that that's obviously historical content. You could make an argument that as soon as Evolve is aired, it becomes historical. But I don't know. I think it would be better if it was on its own space, to be honest with you. Right, we're about to get underway. What match are we looking forward to the most tonight? Well, we only know two. So we've got Shawn Legacy against Keanu Carver, and we have got Jack Cartwheel against Jamar Hampton. So, and we're about to get underway. I'm going to press play now. I need my headphones, actually. I'm sat here going, I'm forgetting something, and it's my headphones. Let's see what they've got for us then. Andrew said, I'm watching Unreal, and honestly, it's very good. Mr. Dow Jr. said the pay-per-views in America are like $80. WWE's Peacock is in the US. WWE pay-per-views on Peacock are 14. Boxing pay-per-views are 50. This is why I only watch WWE pay-per-views, because it's affordable, said Mr. Dell Jr. Okay, here we go. So we're just having a look at Keanu Carver. We just got a profile on him. That was him smashing Timothy Thatcher into the edge of the ring. Let's get started, said Blue Wheel Sonic. Yeah, just listening to... they're setting the scene here, just listening to what Keanu Carver had to say. H-Car said WWE should bring more pay-per-views to UK and Ireland, because WWE never did a pay-per-view in Ireland. Oh, they absolutely should go to Ireland. Yes, completely. Completely. I think that's a real oversight. There's a lot of... Irish that come over here whenever we do, like, you know, a big show over here. They'll come to London, they'll go to Clash at the Castle, or, you know, Money in the Bank at O2. They'll come over and do that. I have no idea why they don't do one in Ireland. Certainly when you think about Becky and Finn and Lyra and just the amount of talent that they've got, you know. Here's Bryce Donovan. This is where pro wrestling evolves. Okay, Bryce Donovan coming down. Have you played GM mode in new or old games? Said Exile 420. Exile 420. There was one game that I really put a lot of time into, and that was... It's interesting seeing Bryce Donovan. He just does not fit this group, does he? And I really don't know why he's in with them. 2008, Smackdown versus Raw 2008. That had a GM mode to it, and I really put a lot of time into that. Really enjoyed it. Had a great kind of summer playing that game. But I've not really played any of them that in depth since. That was the one that I put the most amount of time into. Okay, Marcus Mathers has made his way down. Now, I don't like his music. It does not work. I like how hyped he's come out, though. He's kind of come out really hyped and full of beans. You can tell that this is something that's going to mean a lot to him. Like, he really is going to want to show what he can do. He's kind of looking out at the crowd. He's trying to get them engaged. I appreciate this. It's a good contrast, actually. You've got Bryce Donovan, who's standing there looking mean and moody and just slow, very little movement. And the counter to that is Marcus Mathers, who's coming out and he's trying to get the crowd going. I mean, you know, very easy to work out the heel and the face. And hopefully that plays out into the match as well. Much quicker, isn't he, Marcus Mathers? And side headlock being applied. Yeah, nice. Shoulder down goes Marcus. The size, the strength should be with Bryce Donovan here. And I find Bryce Donovan to be quite interesting because he's in Vanity Project, but he's not like the rest of them, is he? You know, they're young, they're bratty, they're using catchphrases like Hondos and all this kind of stuff. He just stands there looking like he should be Damian Priest's best friend. Oh, nice. Coming off the top. Crossbody there by Marcus Mathers. Kick out there by Bryce. We haven't seen much in the way of like a variety in regards to a moveset out of Bryce. We just don't see much of Bryce at all. Coming down. Nice. Looking for a stunner or a cutter or something like that. Good facial expressions by Marcus. Going over to the corner into that middle turnbuckle. So he went hard into that. And he's gone down on the outsides. And again, look, you come round and he's selling it. I don't think that takes much selling, to be honest, because he went hard into that. Kick coming in there by Bryce as Marcus goes down. I think the cameraman went down as well, you know. So, cameraman going down. And now we've got Bryce going under that bottom rope, grabbing a hold of Marcus, looking to throw him into the ring. Yeah, he is in absolute control. There's a big blow coming to the back there. Right now, again, another big shot as down goes Marcus. Little graphic on screen says, follow the path of the WWE ID prospects over on X. Got a stretch now that's being applied. Marcus trying to... Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Nice abdominal stretch being applied here. So far, he is undefeated in Evolve, Bryce Donovan, but I don't think we've seen much of him. Right now, that stretch being applied. A few elbows that are coming in. Sleazeboy said, if Bayley ever retires, I want WWE to present Bayley a This Is Your Life, hosted by Alexa Bliss, just as they did in 2017. Well, hopefully it'll be a better received segment. It's widely regarded as one of the worst segments in kind of recent WWE history, that is. Maybe rightfully or wrongfully, it's not one that, as we said, was given much love. Definitely miss those kind of segments, though. You know? Those kind of out-of-the-box segments. You know, Bobby Lashley's sisters. Again, awful, right? But at least it was something different rather than just a promo or a match. I feel like we do promos, matches, the occasional contract signing, and that's about it, really. You know, we did a watch-along on the members stream the other day for an old Raw where ECW invaded, and they were doing an arm wrestling thing on there. Marlena against Sunny in an arm wrestling thing. And do you know what I mean? Like, it was something different. It wasn't brilliant. It was one of those where they'd put their arm down and then go, no, no, no. And they'd walk away and they'd try and, like, you know, just got to loosen up a little bit more. Do you remember, like, the lie detector test that they did as well? Vince and Hogan, and we've had weddings, and, you know, we've done some different stuff. And, you know, Bayley, This Is Your Life. We just don't really do those things under Triple H so much. In fact, I just can't even really think of the last one that we had that was like something a bit different. Mathers getting his shoulder up. Mathers is surviving here as Bryce Donovan is in control. What did she say? Come on, bro. Zayda just shouting some at him. Max Caster was one of those Bobby Lashley sisters. He was, wasn't he? Right now, we've got Bryce trying to get Marcus Mathers up. Marcus Mathers rolling through. 1, 2. Bryce kicks out. I feel like this match has had longer than... Oh, my God. I was going to say, had longer probably than it should have. Lovely kick by Marcus, though, because it wasn't just a super kick. He had to sort of, like, bend it round. It wasn't just straight. It was kind of more coming round. Right now, Marcus is going up. Bryce is trying to go up. Marcus on his feet, rolling through. He's over against the ropes. Over the top to the outsides. Nice top rope kick coming in. Oh, big boot. Another big kick. Right now, Marcus on the outsides. He's trying to get this crowd right behind him. He's having to deal with all of Vanity Project against the ropes. Ah, Zayda was standing in the way. So, there we go. Zayda was standing in the way. Oh. Black hole slam might just put Marcus away. There we go. Yeah, I think that probably went longer than it should have. I think that match had a bit more time than it should have. But it was okay. Lot of work there by Marcus. He was bringing the energy. Yeah, I agree that Marcus has got a good future. He looks like the kind of guy you could see being in the Rascals. I remember that WWE ruined Bobby Lashley and his 3 fake sisters. That was the worst. Yeah. I'm certainly not saying that we should do that segment. I'm saying that those kind of out-of-the-box type segments, the things that aren't just promos, matches, contract signings, I'm here for those. This is a weird promo from... I'm not the same man I was before I got in the ring with him. Okay. Timothy Thatcher, that promo is so monotone, isn't it? There's Kylie. So he basically said, I'm not the same man I was before, facing Keanu Carver, but he's like, I believe you can slay that giant. I believe in you. I wonder if Timothy Thatcher's going to get involved. Okay, Kylie Armstrong making her way down to the ring. Right. Daze, a tsunami hit Japan and Russia. Did you see that? I did, yeah. I did. I haven't really seen the after effects of it, but I did see that news. Right, I'm just at commercial break. I've just got some FanDuel casino nonsense. Oh my god, and another commercial now. I got Rakuten or whatever this is. Most of those crazy segments and stupid ideas were done for Vince's entertainment, like Lashley Sisters, Santina, Carey, Paul Burchill, incest, dog food on Roman. They were terrible, said Steve. What's your thoughts on us possibly signing Sesko? I'm worried about our midfield. I'm not too worried about striker. I mean, do we need a striker? Yes, but I think we've got defenders. I'm quite happy with defenders. We've got a goalkeeping problem, and I think we've got a midfield problem. I don't think you can rely on Casemiro. He's too slow, and I think even Amarim was like, Kobe Mainu needs to quicken his tempo as well. So, I don't know, like, there's a few issues with Mainu not being able to do what Amarim wants. Ugarte, I think, was hit and miss last year. Perhaps he's going to be better this year. Casemiro's only going to get worse. I think you got a big gap in the middle of the park. Big gap. So if we get Sesko, brilliant. Yes, it fixes a problem. But is it the problem? I'm really worried. Listen, they call it the engine room, the middle of the park. I don't think we've got a very good engine. It's nice having really good looking spoilers and having like a really good kind of, paint job. But we ain't got an engine. So that's my thoughts. I'll be pleased if we get him, but let's see what Callie's got to say. Jintala, where you at? Are you going to try and sneak me? Come say it to my face. Okay, Tyra May Steele is going to come out. I like Tyra May Steele. She's good, man. She's fun. And she has fun with the crowd, but then she shows like this serious side to her. I'm the one that won that triple threat. You need to worry about me. I'll be having more gold in my collection. Tyra May Steele against Kelly Armstrong. I don't care who you are. You don't know who I am. You're going to find out who I am. Here's Jintala. Let's see how she can promo. I want that title as much as you want me. That's easy. You've got that title shot. I won LFG. Okay. I like these two. Jintala, not very good from a promo point of view. Very, very flat. Not bringing the same energy. It's all right to not come in with the same energy, but you better have like a really strong character. And sort of felt like she was running through a rehearsal. Not much in the way of energy and not much in the way of intrigue and not much in the way of character from Jintala in her promo. But Tyra May Steele was excellent. Kylie was really good as well. And that's interesting. Jintala, definitely, I love her wrestling. Jintala's, she's going to work it out, right? I just don't think that promo was it. But yeah, good. I'm definitely down for seeing something going on between those three. That was awesome, said David. Does Evolve not have custom side plates, said Bishop? Probably not. Probably not. Here's Jamar. This was recorded, I think, about a month ago. Oh, it's goal. It's go. I love It's goal. It's. I still think that character needs a bit of tweaking, but. Jamar Hampton against Becky Hogan. Book it, said Steve. Sonny says, please consider supporting my third book release, After the Storm. It's a poetry book that's available in paperback on Amazon. Sonny says, I don't know if I'm going to do a fourth. I don't know what to write or if I should take a longer break. Can you advertise it to your family that are interested in poetry? Don't really have a poetry family, to be honest, Sonny. Obviously, you can mention it in the chat. But I ain't got really any family members to talk about that's going to be interested in poetry. We ain't that family. Here's Jamar. Jamar Hampton. Yeah, he looks incredible. Jamar Hampton looks so good. Okay, yeah, Jack Cartwheel about to come out. He's going to be very agile, very athletic. And what we're going to see from Jamar Hampton is just strength and power. He's going to have crazy athleticism as well, though. But I think the agility is definitely going to Jack Cartwheel. Jack Cartwheel is getting in the ring. Jack Cartwheel and Marcus Mathers could be quite a match. That could be a little bit like Wes against Javon. There's Jack Cartwheel, Jamar Hamilton. Will LFG contestants bypass Evolve, as Evolve and LFG are feeding NXT? Well, I think the fact they've added Tyra May Steele into this means that not everyone is going to go out of LFG and bypass. I think the winners should, but as Tyra May Steele just said, she won, and she has not found a way of getting into NXT. To be honest, I don't think there is just like necessarily one path that everyone's going to follow. I think if they look at you and feel like you need a little bit more, or if they feel like you could help Evolve, they might chuck you in there for a little bit, rather than it being a hard and fast rule. I don't think they want those restrictions. So we've seen that Jasper Troy's gone to NXT. Tyra May Steele's gone to Evolve. I don't think she'll be in Evolve all that long. I think she's probably there because, they're looking to just boost Evolve a little bit. And, her profile was risen a little bit by LFG. So I think it's probably something along those lines. They might have looked at this and gone as well, the women's division in Evolve could do with a little boost. Still keeping Jamar down. Since TKO is buying up different forms of entertainment, it would be cool if they brought the monster truck race in. Monster Jam or whatever it's called, says Glockness. Yeah, I agree. That would be cool. I think that would fit in with their portfolio as well. And there's been a bit of crossover between wrestling and monster trucks. I think it served, or did serve, a very similar audience. I think going to the monster trucks, I don't know how much it was, but I could see it being, a cheap form of entertainment. I can't imagine tickets were like that expensive back in the day. So, do you know what I mean? Like going to the wrestling, going to the monster trucks, like all of that stuff kind of lives in the same family in my mind. Much like how wrestling and roller derby was kind of very close as well. Back in the day, a lot of people that like wrestling used to like roller derby. So, yeah, I agree with you. I think that would be good to bring it in. I don't know who owns it, though, or even how it runs. Shoulder up. But I don't want to rule this place by continuing a war. It will be your own downfall, says William. Talking about out-of-the-box segments, do we mean like Lita Edge, the intercourse segment? Would you want those back? I just want some creativity. I just don't want it to be match, promo, very occasional contract signing, and that's it. Not when we've had other stuff in the past, And even segments that are bad, at least you can be like, what the hell were they thinking with that? What were they even trying to achieve? It gives you something to talk about. It gives you it just adds some colour to things rather than it just being so bland and repetitive. So even if it's bad, sometimes I'll just take it because at least it's not just the same thing again and again and again and again. I'd like a regular talk show segment You know, I'd like something like that. A Grayson Waller effect, or, you know, we got rid of Miz TV. So, you know, a regular segment like that, or, you know, the occasional arm wrestling thing, or just anything. Just anything. Can someone do something creative? Right now, we've got Jack Cartwheel keeping Jamar down. Jamar getting back up to his feet. He's got such a size to him, doesn't he, Jamar? I mean, he looks incredible. He looks incredible. Screams out, charges over, duck underneath. Bang! Big shot. Down goes Jack Cartwheel, and again. Jamar Hampton's look is a WrestleMania main eventer look. Oh, look at that. Blockbusting Jack Cartwheel, and Jack Cartwheel kicking out. If Jamar Hampton got, like, the gimmick to go with the character, like, if he, you know, gets his ring gear sorted, gets the presentation sorted, gets a catchphrase, gets, like, big sounding music, like, we're off. He's got these big power moves. His selling is quite good. You can see, like, the desperation there as Jack Cartwheel was rolling out the ring. Like, desperately trying to reach out and grab him. He goes to the outside as Jack Cartwheel comes in. Cartwheel in the ring, looking to go over against the ropes over the other sides. Cartwheels! Ah, so good. Cartwheels into a backflip to the outside, lands on Jamar Hampton, chucks him back in the ring. Goes up, flips over, lands on top of Jamar, and Jamar kicks out. There's not enough tassels in wrestling, said Bishop. I agree. We need more tassels. Right now, again, we've got Cartwheel charging over, gets picked up. Oh, slam down. Hampton coming over, backing away. Cartwheel is up top. Looking for a big superplex, maybe. Forearm shots coming in. Dig into the midsection there by Jamar Hampton. Again going for super. It's Gall! Yes! It's Gall is out there getting a pump on. He has distracted Jamar. 1, 2, 3. Wow, Cartwheel gets the win. But it's all because it's Gall was out there distracting. Wow, it's a win for Jack Cartwheel. So that first match you lot said was good 94. Was this one better? Did you get more from this one than the first one? I think this was probably better. Let's see. I'm not a fan of the ending. But it's probably going to set up its goal against Jamar Hampton. So there is it's Gall still getting his pump on. He's pretty ripped. I mean, he doesn't have the size of Jamar, though. Okay, main event coming up. This is the match that we've been waiting for. Sean Legacy wanting to get revenge for what happened to Timothy Thatcher. And Timothy Thatcher trying to convince us that he's not the same since facing Keanu Carver. Right. Days, of course, dinosaurs were 66 million years ago. What dinosaur would you be? I would be a extinct one. I don't know. I don't know much about dinosaurs, honestly. I was kind of into dinosaurs for one summer when we had Jurassic Park coming out. But not my bag, really. I love distracting Days when he is on a tear trying to do wrestling streams. Steve said, if Raw was on a Tuesday, they could have El Grande talk show. They could call it Talko Tuesday. Talko Tuesday, very good. Talko Tuesday. Very good. Okay, I'm at commercial break, so we are just waiting to go back till we get to our main event. I don't feel like there's been much to get our teeth into with this episode, which is a bit of a shame. I think for me, the best part might have been the promo. I really like Tyra May Steele. I think she's great. Kylie obviously showing that she can hold her own with a bit of a promo exchange. Lots of inflection in the voice as well. Like, it's not just flat and monotone. I mean, you could see that when Gintala came out, you could see she was not of their level in that promo, right? When it comes to her promos. Yeah, I think that was probably the most engaging. But there was moments in that last match. Have you seen that Evolve locker room? Sean Legacy. So this is Zara. Zaka. So we're gonna do Wendy, Choo, Carly, Bright next Wednesday. Okay. What else have we got? Oh, so she is getting a title match. I thought we might do Gintala again. That'll be better for next week. That's good. That'll give us something to look forward to. Evolve Women's Championship match. Kylie Armstrong against Gintala. I really thought they were going to do Gintala against Tyra May Steele. Winner would face Kylie Armstrong. Okay, well, there we go. We've got a Women's Championship match next week on Evolve, so that's good. That's good. And to be honest, this match is a match that I think is worth looking forward to because, as we said, I really feel like these guys are right. I think a lot of people thought one of these was going to be the first champ. I was thinking they might have gone with Sean Legacy, but a lot of people thought they were going to go with Keanu Carver, and they actually end up going with Jackson. So I think it's not really crazy to suggest this has got a bit of a number one contenders vibe to it. Small crowd as well. It doesn't really feel like there's as many people in the crowd for this taping. Here we go. Super Sean Legacy has been super impressive. William said their penises were armored. Oh. Will he survive this storm? Not sure about his music. Okay, here we go. Both guys get in their intros. They're going to give this match some time. This is our main event. Keanu Carver has crushed WWE ID affiliates Timothy Thatcher, Ice Williams, and Marcus Mathers. His finishing move is called the Shambles. It's a torture rack into a spinning net breaker. Oh, see, that's good. That's good information to have on screen. That's good. More of that. More of that. Right, here we go. Keanu Carver, Super Sean Legacy. Sean going against the ropes. And he just grabs a hold of them. He did not want to bounce back into Keanu, so he's regrouping. Again, he's pacing rounds. Yeah, nice. Going underneath, round the back. Good work there by Sean. Not locking up with Keanu. Keanu drives him back in the corner. He moves out the way, and there's a big chop that's fired in there by Sean. Keanu grabs him, throws him in the corner, duck underneath, comes out. Big shots coming into the midsection by Sean, and he's going upstairs. Gets pushed back. It's hard, isn't it? You're kind of in there with a bull, and he's just exploded forward. Down goes Sean Legacy, and Sean Legacy just can't get any momentum at the moment as Keanu Carver comes in, grabs him, looking to hurl him into the other corner. Yeah, that's kind of interesting, actually. They're talking about how Keanu Carver blames the ID program for him not being champion. I don't know if they've been doing this, but it would be really good if he was showing up on indie shows and just taking out ID talent. You know, if he was just turning up and just like murking everyone. Oh, Sean Legacy off that rope. Sean Legacy bouncing off that rope, going down. Keanu standing over. Grabbing Sean Legacy, scooping him up, looking for a fall away slam, gets it. Sean Legacy is hurled to the other side of the ring. Right now, he's grabbing a hold of Legacy, throwing in a big forearm shot. Legacy goes down. Right now, we got Keanu Carver with Legacy. Shot coming into the midsection by Legacy, and another big shot coming back there by Keanu Carver. Carver in control. Shot coming into the midsection by Legacy, trying to get back up to his feet. Another big blow coming in. Forearm shot there by Keanu Carver, and Legacy is having to really sell here. He's over by the ropes, and he's kind of just getting beaten up, to be honest. He's just getting smashed. He can't get any momentum going, and he's just getting, like, smashed around the ring. Keanu Carver grabbing Sean Legacy. Legacy trying to find a way of getting back up to his feet. Over the top rope to the outsides. Legacy going over. Trying to skin the cat, and he takes Keanu Carver over. Here we go, against the ropes. Suicide dive. Looked really slow, that did. I don't know what that was about. The way he kind of went through the ropes there, it seemed really slow and laboured. Drop kick. Kick coming in there by Legacy. Here we go. We're going to get a bit more pace. Even that looked a little bit slow. I always feel like if you're going to do a suicide dive, you've really got to go at some pace. Like, if you just doing it's not really enough, because we see one in every flipping match. Do you know what I mean? Like, every match, I feel like we see a suicide dive. So if you're going to do it, do it. Do you know what I mean? Against the ropes and really, like, do it. I just felt those were really slow there by Sean Legacy. This match not massively grabbing me at the moment, to be honest with you. I think it's still got some, obviously, time to go in it. But, yeah, I don't know. Not a very strong episode so far. I think the two matches we had beforehand were just so-so. They were okay. You know, the first one getting a good 94. And actually the second match getting... We can end the poll. Second match getting good... Ooh, you said good 100. So actually a lot of you enjoyed that one more. So, okay. Yeah, I agree. I think it was better. I think the second one was better. I think you lot were into it a bit more than me. I think I'd be about a good 96 or something like that. But I think it was better. Let's see. Let's see how this one goes. We're back from a little commercial break there. I've got Sean Legacy throwing in some shots. Big knee coming into the midsection. Sean Legacy going down. And right now we got Keanu Carver coming over. It's kind of been slow, dominated by the heel. It's probably the match it should be in that regard. You know, this is going to be what Sean Legacy is going to have to try and overcome. Brian said, Daze, do you remember checking the teletext of the Paramount channel in 96, 97 to get the Monday Night Raw results. Back then, you wouldn't get Raw shown in the UK on Sky Sports until Thursday. To be honest with you, buds, I just tended to wait for the show, to be honest. I just wait. I think I was back there. I was quite lucky. I didn't have loads of friends that were that bothered and that interested. So, there was a few times that I would like look up results, but I would just wait for the show to air most times because I never had it spoiled, and I never really ran the risk of it being spoiled. If I had like loads of friends that wanted to like talk about stuff, that might have been different. But good times though. Okay, Sean Legacy over by the ropes. No one has ever put him in pain or manhandled him like Keanu Carver is. Again, it's still slow, methodical. Going for the cover, shoulder up. Bluebell Sonic said, I just watched the Mr. McMahon season 1, episode 1. It's good. I mean, that reveals a fair bit behind the scenes, doesn't it? The McMahon documentary. Charging into Sean Legacy going down. Yeah, Robert Stone, Mr. Stone's like, if he wants to change the energy of this match, he's got to try and find it. Shot coming in there by Sean Legacy. He's trying to find a way back. Again, clubbing blow. Keanu grabbing him, looking for a bear hug. Keanu Carver squeeze in here, and yeah, I tell you one thing, right, that's kind of coming across from this match. Keanu Carver is wearing down Sean Legacy, beating him up. The pace is really slow. He's dominating, but it's a completely different thing to actually put Sean Legacy away. Like, you can slam him, you can chuck him, you can do all this stuff. The guy is going to keep kicking out. What Keanu Carver needs to find is he needs to find that finishing blow. What Sean Legacy needs to find is just a way back into this match, because at the moment he's just getting smashed, and it's been about 5 minutes of that now. Keanu Carver now starting to take some risks as a result, and this is kind of interesting now, because I think he's starting to get a bit desperate. He's taking some risks. And that is going to present some openings. Clotheslines coming in there by Legacy. Into a DDT there. Do you know, I feel like there is a story in this match. I feel like they're trying to tell a story. Keanu Carver trying to get Legacy away, not being able to do it. Having to take some risks. Legacy capitalizing now on that risk taking, finding a way back in, and now throwing in some kicks. Another kick coming in there by Legacy as Keanu Carver gets back up to his feet. Quick kicks coming in by Legacy. Legacy really now throwing in a lot of strikes, but Keanu Carver charges over. I tell you what's quite interesting. Could Keanu Carver just go back to what he was doing at the start of the match? Simple stuff, safe stuff, but it just doesn't get you a pin. So if Keanu Carver tries to just do some shoulder barges, things like that, at this stage in the match, it's probably not going to work, because now Sean Legacy has got this momentum. He's going up. He's on the top rope. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That could be a finishing move. That's nice. Sean Legacy was on the top rope. He just kind of pushed him back, and Sean Legacy then came forward again. And as he came forward, boom, big shot. The only problem you would have is, like, how would you get your opponent in that position as a finisher, you know? It's a very specific type move, that, isn't it? It's only going to work against like high flyers, really. Sean Legacy getting back in the ring, coming in, kick coming in. I just finished Unreal, said Cameron. There's so many talking points. One thing I would love to have seen was Chelsea winning the Rumble in that way. I was at that Rumble, said Cameron. Yeah, I agree. I think that... drop kick. Going for the cover. 1, 2. Shoulder up. Shoulder up. So, yeah, I agree. Loads of talking points. Right now, we've got Sean Legacy round the back of Keanu Carver, trying to pick up Carver. Landing back down. Over against the ropes. Keanu Carver is going for a suplex. Sean Legacy. Oh, my God! Oh, my God! That was so good! He's turned him around. He plants it. Surely. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. I don't think that's a great match. I think there is a story in there that could be told. I really love that move, though, where he kind of used the ropes to flip him round. So he had him, he sort of banged him on the ropes, flipped him round, and then he went into his finishing move. Sean Legacy loses to Keanu Carver. I want to see that move again, man. I want to see what he did on the rope. I want to see the mechanics of it. They're just showing a few replays of some of those. Oh, that was good. I enjoyed that where he had that bit. This bit here, no. I want to see that bit with the ropes again. That was really good. No one can stop me. Jackson, Drake, Vanity Projects. Okay, there we go. That was Evolve. So, yeah, I think that that episode was honestly a really disappointing episode. I think that there wasn't really much to get your teeth into with it. The first match was so. Honestly, the Marcus Mathers, I think, has got something about him. Bryce Donovan, I don't know where the character is there. He's just a guy that looks moody. He stands there. I didn't see much in the way of moveset. I didn't see much in the way of like hand gestures or like he was just there, and there wasn't really much to kind of unpack. Unfortunately, the vibe I get with him is that what you see is what you get, and I don't think there's much more there at the moment, right? In regards to Marcus Mathers, he is obviously very energetic, and, you know, you can tell that he has worked on the indie scene because he's had to bring that same energy to the ring. So it's kind of like really good selling, good facial expressions, lots of like, he's the one that carried that match in my mind. So, yeah, first match, not loads to unpack, but I think if Marcus gets a better opponent, we could see something good. Which is why I was saying, like, maybe you do Jack Cartwheel against Marcus Mathers, and maybe that could be interesting. Second match, we get... who was in the second match? Second match, we had... Jamar Hampton, and he was in action against... Who was he up against? We had Thingy on the outside. It's gold, didn't we? He was up against... Who did he face? I can't even remember now. God, that's how forgettable that match was. That match was a little better. I think Jamar Hampton looks good. He was up against Jack Cartwheel, wasn't he? He was up against Jack Cartwheel. So he was up against Jack Cartwheel. Cartwheel had some moments where he was flipping and he looked really impressive. Jamar Hampton's got a good size to him. As a match, I didn't feel like there was loads to unpack. There was some nice spots, some nice moments. I think Jamal Hampton, if you find the right character, you can get somewhere. Jack Cartwheel, I just love him with Cappuccino Jones in that tag team. I think the reason why I was probably down or couldn't really remember that second match is just a bit throwaway, bit like not really much to unpack, as I said. I kind of feel like Marcus Mathers and Jack Cartwheel, the energy they bring is very similar. Cartwheel can do more gymnastics. Mathers, maybe a little more technical. Like his selling. Coming from the indie scene, I would have rather we had a women's match in the second one, to be honest, as like give us something a little different, a different flavour, you know. So I would have rather that we had a women's match in that second one. But yeah, whatever, fine. I would say maybe the second one a little better, but not by much, personally. If the first one's good 94, I think the second one's good 96 or something like that, right? I mean, it's really close. And then you've got the third match, the main event, Keanu Carver against Sean Legacy. I think it was quite slow at the beginning, and it was only when I started to feel like a story was emerging, or I could see there being a story in the match, that I was kind of getting invested, starting to get on boards. But I just sort of felt like it was just a bit sloppy. I didn't really feel like there was anything. A couple of nice moves towards the end, but yeah, they didn't cook. There wasn't anything there that I thought was that mind-blowing. I think my scores for it would be that the first match was about a good 94 or 92. I think the second one's like a good 95. I think the main event is the best of them, but even that's not drastically an increase. So for me, I'd probably say that was a good 98. So I think we've had like good 92, good 94, good 96, something like that, something along those lines. By and large, you know, a missable week, I would say, for Evolve, personally. But next week, we've got the women, and we've got the women's championship, and hopefully that's going to provide something a little bit juicier. So, yeah, put in your thoughts. What did you lot think? Did you lot think the last match was the best match? Did you enjoy that match? Did you think it was, you know, maybe better than what I'm saying? It was an easy show, said Blue Whale Sonic. You will get that with Evolve. I mean, 3 matches in a 40-odd minute time period, 45-minute time period. I mean, things don't massively outstay their welcome, do they? And we had a promo in there as well. So I agree. I mean, this is why I enjoy watching it, and I'm not down on this show. I certainly wouldn't say this was like a bad show. I just think that by some of the Evolve shows we've seen, this is not as notable. And I don't know, yeah, I was doing the watch along, just found it a little bit of a challenge to kind of find the talking points, find where, you know, you can get your teeth into stuff, you know. AB said, I think it's decent. I'm giving it a 6. Yeah, I think that's fair. It was a good show, says the 1 Minute Wrestling with J9998. Shout out to you, buds. United game kicks off at like 2:30 in the morning. It's weird watching football at that time. Well, I won't be watching it, but I'll certainly be interested in the score. Playing Bournemouth, aren't we? Over in, I think, Chicago. Daze, what are your thoughts on Carmelo Hayes' situation? And is it similar to the Theory situation? The IWC has been getting We Want Melo trending after one appearance on Smackdown in 7 weeks. Well, my thoughts are I was quite surprised that he was trending. I don't quite understand how big this movement is, because we don't get people in our streams saying, I really hope that we get Carmelo Hayes on the show tonight, or I'd love to see Carmelo Hayes. Like, Carmelo Hayes conversation is actually non-existent. So it was really surprising to see that We Want Mello had actually trended, because in our community and what I see, I really don't see any sizable amount of people actually making that as a statement. We kind of had a look at it, and I think there was a comment that Carmelo responded to that I think has drawn attention to it. So was this a movement that was happening anyway, or was it born out of a few comments that have just caught fire? I mean, I don't know, is my honest answer. I mean, maybe there is a movement. I'm sure Carmelo's got a fan base, and I'm sure they've been vocal. It's just that was played out away from me. I've not seen that, right? So, yeah, I think in regards to that, it's one of those, if you're not on TV and you're good, people are going to want to see more of you, and there'll be these movements, and there'll always be these movements. You know, there's only so much TV time, and WWE have more wrestlers than they can really accommodate. And the reason for that is because when there's injuries, you need wrestlers there to step in. When there's releases, if people have lost their way or characters have gone cold, or, you know, people are getting towards the end of their time in the company because of age, or, you know, maybe they're not operating at the same level anymore. You know, you need wrestlers there ready to step up and step in. Like, I don't think WWE, I think they've got an idea as to like how many positions they're looking to fill. I think they've got more of a budget that they're trying to hit. I think it's more about the wage budget than it is how many wrestlers they have. But of course, it's pointless having 1,000 wrestlers on your roster when you can only clearly accommodate X amount, right? 100. If you can only feature 100 in a month, then you don't need 1,000 on your roster. But what I would say is that I think we can all agree you're going to need 150 or something like that, because there are injuries, and there are suspensions, and there are illnesses, and there are releases, and there are retirements, and there are lots of reasons as to why you would need more than just the number you show on TV. So I think as long as wrestling is going to be around, there's going to be these movements. So it's Carmelo's kind of little moment, right? And we've had it for Karrion Kross as well. And there's a groundswell of support that I've seen for Natalya. There was a big movement for Dakota when she wasn't getting onto TV. So I think it's normal. That's my honest reaction, is I think this is pretty normal. I think it's always going to happen, where, you know, you're always going to have people in catering, and you're always going to have fans that want to see them. And yeah, so I just think it's part of wrestling. So I don't really think too much of it, honestly. I don't really think too much of it. I think that Carmelo will get used. I mean, he was used a lot in NXT. There is a statement, you know, that Triple H made that I thought was really interesting. And I don't know if he said it at a press conference. I think he said it in an interview, actually, around WrestleMania time. He said, you wouldn't believe the amount of people that work their nuts off at the PC, desperately trying to get to the main roster, and then when they get to the main roster, take their foot off the gas. And that was a very, very revealing comment from Triple H that he said in an interview around WrestleMania time. And I think that as fans, we don't really take those things into consideration. But, you know, this is stuff that happens. I'm not saying that Carmelo is guilty of that. But to be honest, like, when you get to the main roster, that's the time for you to step up, isn't it? Getting to the main roster isn't where you take your foot off the gas. It's where you put your foot down on the gas. It's where you go harder. Like, you thought what I was doing in NXT was good. Just you wait, you know? I mean, really, when you get to the main roster, you should be adding to your moveset. You should be fleshing out your characters. It's not that that's it, I'm on the main roster, I've signed this lucrative contract, I've made it, and you take your foot off the gas. If anything, your foot goes firmer on the gas. So I think that there are people, clearly, for him to make that comment, guilty of kind of doing that. I'm not saying that it's Carmelo, I'm just saying that there are people that have done that, and we just don't know why people don't get used. We don't know why they don't get fancied by creative, what it is about them, you know. Some reason as to why they're not being pushed more than they are. So, yeah, few thoughts in there. I think it was weeks of him not being on TV, and then with Jelly Roll taking TV time and SummerSlam spot, people are now questioning why talented wrestlers are being benched for celebrities. Well, I'm pleased to hear people are questioning that. I don't know where they've been for the past God knows how many years, but I'm pleased to hear that people are questioning that now, because that's a conversation we've had on this channel for flipping years. So, you know, I'd like to say a big thank you to Jelly Roll. I'd like to say a big thank you to Travis Scott, because you've managed to flipping do something that we've been talking about for flipping years over here, about how these people come in and take spots away. Never bothered anyone before. It honestly felt like a pretty lonely battle at times having this conversation. So I'm pleased to hear that the IWC has woken up and that people are now starting to get on board with that. Because we've felt that way, and I've felt that way, and we've had conversations about this for flipping years and years and years. And it's funny because people will turn around and go, but celebrities have been in wrestling for years. And it's like, yeah, we've been critical of it for years as well. Just because they've been in wrestling, it doesn't change anything. We've been critical of it for years. So, good. Well, we'll have to see where it goes. Obviously, I don't expect the celebrity stuff to change. I mean, apparently Triple H said they've got a hell of a list of celebrities that want to come in and work with them. And you can believe that, you know, because it's cool and it's fun. It's fun. Of all the stuff that you have to do to, you know, as a celebrity, there's probably, you know, bits that, like, you know, doing like days and days of media interviews. Like, that's probably not fun. If you're promoting a film and you've got to go into a room in a hotel and just talk to loads of journalists, like, it's probably fine at first. But in this day and age, they want to play games and stuff, don't they? They want to do all this kind of nonsense of, like, rank these films and, do you know what I mean? Like, because they're great for shorts and TikTok and stuff like that. Again and again and again, and after 2 days, like, you can understand why some of these celebrities are like, Jesus, I just don't need this. So, you know, there's the idea that you can go and, like, wrestle. You can have a wrestling match at, like, WrestleMania or SummerSlam. Like, I'd imagine for celebrities that are so inclined, like a Jelly Roll, like a Bad Bunny, I'd imagine that's like, whoa, oh, wow, that's a real perk of being famous, you know? So you can understand why there'd be a long list of interested, probably more guys, I'd imagine. Probably guys, people that like to think that in another life they could have done this, you know? So, yeah, it's not something that'll ever go away. So, again, I think this is a conversation that's never going to go away. I think that Carmelo today is going to be Tony D'Angelo tomorrow, right? It's going to be Ethan Page tomorrow. It's going to be Ricky Saints. It's going to be, you know, there'll be people that sit on the sidelines and miss out. BGNAES said no one knows about the Cross situation. Could he be lying to people since someone leaked that his contract was going to expire around the same time that Paul Ellering was released, and that peeved him off? I don't know. I mean, look, I always think, you know, when it comes to wrestlers and, you know, really great wrestlers, I always think that if they've got a good look and they can do promos and their matches are good, and you just cannot see why they're not being used, I just think there's clearly something else that's going on, right? Because someone like Triple H is not an idiot, right? Triple H wants to have the best product possible. He wants to entertain the fans. He wants to put on a product that people are going to want to watch, and he's going to make money, and he's going to get ratings, and that's what he wants, yeah? Because if you're in that job, that's the job. The job is to put on the most engaging matches using the most popular superstars, so on, so on, so on. So if you've got someone like Karrion Kross that is like getting one of the best-selling shirts when it came out, and, you know, there's like a whole movement of We Want Kross that has trended, And, you know, he's creating a bit of a buzz for himself, and then he still doesn't get used. I can't be the only one that looks at that and wonders why. Yeah? Can't be the only one that looks at that and wonders why. I'm sure you do as well. And I don't believe the answer is that there is no answer. There has to be an answer. Because decisions are being made as to who to showcase. So they are choosing to go. They are making a choice, and they are choosing to not select Karrion Kross. That is their choice. They could have him on the shows. They could have him on the PLEs. They're choosing not to. Right? Now, it might be that they really like him. They just can't find the right creative, right? They really like him. They just can't find the right opponent. They can't find the right story that's kind of floating their boat. It might not be anything serious. It might just be something like that, right? But they're still choosing to not showcase him, yeah? So, obviously, we've had lots of conversations about it. And one of the theories that, I've kind of floated is that they're purposefully holding him back because they know that, and they've seen the support for him, and they know that if they continue to do that, it'll make him a bigger star. So if they purposely hold him back, and they don't use him, and they don't put him on the shows, and he keeps missing out, and he keeps talking about it, it's only going to add to people feeling upset and angry and that he's being disrespected. It's only going to grow his following. And to be honest with you, I really hope that's what they've been doing. I can't say that's what they've been doing because there's lots of other ways of explaining it, right? So I can't say that's what they've been doing, but I would like to think that's what they've been doing, that they've been purposefully holding him back, you know, because they're clever, right? They're cleverer than we give them credit for. You might think there's no way they would do that, but they've done this before. They've done it with Daniel Bryan. So... got a hair in my mouth. There we go. Daniel Bryan, right? In 2013, when we was building up to Yeselmania, the fans were right behind him. Yeah, they wanted Daniel to get that championship. They wanted Daniel to be world champion. And apparently they kept saying to Daniel, like, we can do it. We can pull the trigger on you. Like, we can make you champion. And apparently, according to Triple H, it was Daniel that kept saying, no, make them wait. Let's not do anything. Let's not, you know, if you're going to put the belt on me at, say, SummerSlam like they did, then let's have the cash in. Let's take it off immediately. They want me to be champion, and that's what's fueling this. So let's keep fueling this, and let's see where we get to. So keep putting me in title matches or keep screwing me over. Let's keep finding ways of keeping me away from the belt because this is working, basically. Yeah. So they did that with Daniel Bryan back in 2013. They could have put the title on him and given him a little run, but they just they kept screwing him over again and again and again. 2013 is really Daniel just getting screwed again and again and again, getting overlooked, winning matches and then being cashed in on and all this kind of stuff, right? And that was by design. That was a Daniel Bryan suggestion, like, screw me over because ultimately it's only going to make it bigger when I do become champion. And actually, ironically, I heard that they had a plan to not even have him win the belt at WrestleMania. It was going to be him against Sheamus. So I don't know quite what happened there. They were going to do him and Sheamus again at that show. So I don't know what happened with that. But, yeah, this is why, like, we talk about, are they doing this on purpose? Have they seen that people are desperate for Karrion to get opportunity, and they are just holding him back, and just waiting, like, for the time to be right, and then boom, you know? I mean, they are using him more now, and he is at SummerSlam now. So, you know, and it's massively worked for him. Massively worked. This whole him not getting opportunity and being held back. So it's a really interesting conversation because I suppose what we're saying is that sometimes these things aren't, and I'm not saying that the Karrion one, I don't know about Karrion, right? I don't know. It could be that they have just not found anything for him to do and, you know, they have just, like, not held him back on purpose. They just haven't had anything. But the point I'm making is that sometimes these things actually help the wrestlers. So, for example, like, you know, that We Want Mello movement, you know, all of a sudden, look at the conversation we're having about Carmelo now. You know, we're talking about how there was a groundswell of support for him that I had no idea was coming, because no one was really talking about Carmelo in our community. When it came to all the different questions that were being asked, I don't remember anyone really asking, or certainly not us talking about what do we think about Carmelo, where do we think the future is for him. Everyone's talking Bron Breakker, everyone's talking Bronson Reed. No one's talking about Carmelo. Like, where are we with Carmelo? Like, we've not had that conversation. So the whole We Want Mello movement was really surprising. I did not see that coming, but it's not a bad movement for him, of course. It gets him noticed, gets him in the conversation. And, you know, if they want to, they can even dig into it. And they can even kind of hold him back a bit more and see if that movement, like, you know, grows, and actually see if they can get some organic going from it. So, yeah, a lot of stuff to unpack with all of those kind of movements, you know, because some of this stuff I don't think is as straightforward as it initially seems. Like, you know, this person isn't being used, let's go on social media and let's start a hashtag. Sometimes it is that simple, but sometimes WWE are trying to get those reactions, and WWE are trying to, you know, build up the superstars using, you know, those kinds of means. So, yeah, interesting. I think that's an interesting conversation. Steve said, being added to a PLE does not mean that you are safe or that they like you. There's been plenty of wrestlers that have been on PLEs and then been released. Well, that's true. I mean, you know, if they don't renew his contract and he ends up getting released, it'll be, honestly, I won't personally understand. When it comes to Carrion, I think that I see someone that's got a great look. I see someone that's a great promo. I see someone that goes on social media and drives his own narrative, yeah? He's someone that goes on social media and doesn't hide, doesn't, like, you know, stay quiet, will speak out and actually reach out and connect with the fans in that way. And there's not many wrestlers that do that, to be honest. And he does. I mean, I feel like he is doing everything he can do. And the only thing I'd say is I've seen a few matches out of him this year that I wish were a bit better. You know, this feud with Sammy, the match quality, and I'm saying this as a Sammy fan, you know. I wish they'd clicked, and I'm really hoping that happens at SummerSlam. Really hoping that happens at SummerSlam. But, I mean, short of that, what other advice can you give? I mean, the guy's doing absolutely everything he can. If they end up letting him go, I would personally love to find out why. I would love to get an answer. What someone's got to ask, haven't they? What is it about Carrion that meant that he... Because people will want to learn from it as well. What about all that talent that's coming through? If I'm a talent at the Performance Center and there's a guy on the main roster that I think is doing everything he can do to get on TV and be used and get a new contract and all that, and then he gets let go, I would kind of really like to get an answer as to, can you tell me what he did wrong so that I can learn from this? Because he seems to have done everything that you could ask for, and he's lost his job. So, you know, as a fan for future conversations, as a talent that's coming through the system, Carrion himself, you know, would obviously be number one, would like to know most of all what's going on. I think it would be really useful if WWE was to kind of somehow, some way, through some interview, even if it's Triple H being interviewed on one of those kind of late night interview YouTube shows, you know, those kind of shows that comedians do, and they do them on YouTube, and you know, not like Jimmy Fallon or anything, but like something where Triple H maybe feels a little more comfortable. It feels a little bit more intimate. Doesn't feel like you've got all of America watching you type thing. Maybe he could just reveal, like, listen, great talent, but, you know, but whatever. I can't even tell you what it would be. I can't even tell you what he would answer because I have no idea. And I think, honestly, the reason why I can't answer that, the reason why I don't see where the issue is, I don't know what the issue is. I think that's why my brain is just taking me to, is this just a bit of a story? Are they just like trying to make us get behind him? And this is actually the start of a push. I genuinely, I think that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, is because I can't see where he's gone wrong. And I don't think he can either. He put a video out the other day where you had Kevin Sullivan kind of talking, and Kevin Sullivan had left a message. I think we included it in Unseen. And Kevin Sullivan, you know, was like, listen, you've got it all. You look the part. You talk brilliant. You're a great package with Scarlett. Like, give me a call. Let's see if we can work this out. And you've got Kevin Sullivan, like, in a video saying the exact same thing, which is like, I just don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with them. Like, give me a call. Let's see if we can work this out. And it was actually, I think that turned out to be an advert for a new documentary he's got coming out. He did one around WrestleMania called The Killer. And I think this is going to be The Killer Part 2. And this is going to like really focus on the next chapter. So, yeah, interesting, really interesting. Days, unfortunately, because of poor quality of Smackdown, when it was 3 hours, we are now seeing the detriment of the talent struggling to get TV time. Maybe that's a missed opportunity. The only thing I'd say is that Smackdown was 2 hours. I mean, when it was on Fox, it was 2 hours. It only went 3 hours in January of this year. So that third hour was just a bonus, really. For it to kind of, for WrestleMania season. And then as soon as we were done with WrestleMania season, they kept it going a little longer than we thought, but not much. And then it went away. So I think, I don't think it's unfair to say that that's a missed opportunity, because, yeah, if that had worked and the shows were like really well received, they could have kept going with 3 hours. But you can sort of look at it another way, which is SmackDown's never really been 3 hours. You know, it's largely been two when it was on Fox. The third hour only came in earlier this year. I think it was just the WrestleMania season, and they might do it again next year for the WrestleMania season. So, and you have to draw the line somewhere as well, don't you? Because, you know, you take it to 3 hours, you're going to need a roster then that can do 3 hours. So, you know, say you need 100 wrestlers for 2 hours, right? 3 hours, you need 150. Well, you're not going to have 150, are you? You're going to need extra in case of injury or travel issues or, you know, whatever. You know, let's say you have 200. You are always going to have people in catering. You're always going to have people in catering. There's not really a way of avoiding it unless you use every wrestler you've got. And what do you do when there's injury? What do you do when people retire? You know, and what happens when like someone comes to the end of the contract and then they don't want to renew, and you thought they were going to renew? Like, you're always going to have more wrestlers than spots. You're always going to have more wrestlers than spots, and so there is always going to be people that are on the bench, and so. Even if you went 3 hours, you would have enough people for a 3.5 hour show. Right now, we've got a 2 hour show, and the roster's probably good enough for a, 2.5 hour show. Yeah. So it's one of those where I think adding extra time does not necessarily fix the problem. It gets more people on TV, but you will still have people in catering. Catering is never going to be empty. You will always have people that are sat in catering. And I think that it's just about making sure that they don't stay there, honestly. I think as wrestling fans, we should know that it's okay to be in catering. It's okay that they've not got anything for you at this time. You know, it'd be good like they're doing with Nia. They haven't got anything for Nia, so Nia would be in catering. But it's good that they're like, well, go to NXT and help them in NXT. That's good. That's good. And then if there's a problem on the main roster, they can bring her back. So, you know, finding alternatives to catering is good, like we're doing with Nia. But also knowing that you've just had a good run and you've done some really good stuff, and now they don't have anything for you because it's someone else's go, and you're in catering, maybe working main events or, doing house show bits. That's fine. That's okay. But the thing is that you just don't want to get stuck there. You don't want to be there for like 6 months. You want to be there for like ideally a couple of months, if that, month or two, whilst other people are having stories, and then back in the game, So that's okay. It's like being a great player that gets substituted. That's fine. That happens. It's okay. You just don't want to be on the subs bench all the time, do you? So for me, I think it's probably healthier to view it that way. It's okay to, Carmelo won the Andre Battle Royal. I know we didn't do anything with it, but, we was trying him with The Miz. That didn't really work. He won the Andre Battle Royal. Now he's been missing a little bit. People want him back. That's understandable. Little bit of an online movement, but I don't see any major problem at the moment. Yes, he needs a fresh coat of paint. He needs a bit of a new feud, but all of those things are quite easy fixes. I think it's easy to get him some new music and kind of little tweak his presentation. I don't think he needs an overhaul, but just a little tweak in the presentation. Needs a feud. To be honest, getting himself a good feud and getting some regular TV time and getting some promo time and being able to do some stuff on social media that you can talk about and get your teeth into some of that. I think that would fix a lot of his problems. I think that would fix a lot of Carrion's problems. So it's one of those where it's okay to be on the subs bench a little bit. Daze WrestleTix have just put up the latest data for SummerSlam Sunday. Just over 50,000 have now been distributed. That's good. That's good. 50,000. That's good. They're adding some much-needed flair to a match with table and step spots. People are watching AEW, are they? I get the draw, but for celebs, but damn, said Tysign. Well, I mean, for me, I think celebrities in wrestling, they should bring attention just being on the show, should they not? I mean, if I'm a fan of a celebrity and they're going to be, I like the band The AAS, yeah? I'm a big fan of The AAS. Their first album made a big impact on me back in the early 2000s. I've seen them live loads of times. Love the band, love Karen O, great lead singer. Just really good rock, punk, bit of attitudes, nothing too heavy. And, but I really like them as a band, yeah? I'm not crazy about them. I'm not part of the fan club or, flipping anything like that. But, if they come over, I'd have a look, how much are the tickets? Probably go along, that kind of a thing. Yeah, new album out. Oh, that's good, exciting. Give it a listen, blah, blah. If they were at SummerSlam or something like that, I'd be interested to know what they were going to do. I might tune in to see them perform and, maybe they're going to do a new song or, maybe they're going to interact with some of the wrestlers. But I wouldn't expect them to have a match. I wouldn't expect Karen to have a match. But could there be a little backstage thing that she does where she is talking and someone comes up to her and throws some attitude or something, And, if that happens, would she stand her ground? Or would someone step in? There's enough intrigue there for me to want to tune in without them having a match, And I don't understand the idea that you would only tune in and support your favourite celebrity if they're wrestling. That seems a bit foreign to me. That seems like quite an ask. Do you know what I mean? That would be a little bit like a band going on UFC. Or an actor or someone going onto UFC and but I'm only going to tune in if they get to fight. So you wouldn't tune in if your favourite band was going to perform at UFC at the pay-per-view. That wouldn't interest you. But that's what they do. Do you know what I mean? I don't really understand. I understand it's a bit harder for, say, actors, because what are they meant to do? Go on and do a play. Do you know what I mean? Do a scene. I understand it's harder for them, but they can be guest timekeepers. They can be guest. I mean, you could have a guest commentator. They could jump onto commentary and just kind of commentate during one of the matches. They could be at ringside. Yeah, I mean, I have no problem with a celebrity at ringside being in the corner of someone. and like the person asks them to pass them a chair or something like this, and so they've got to like try and like shall I, shan't I, that kind of stuff. I mean, for me the issue is that when it comes to wrestling, you've got to be highly trained, and you're taking your life in your hands, and certainly you can paralyze people, and it's serious stuff. Yeah, I mean, we all saw what happened to Big E. It's serious stuff. So you've got to be highly trained. I mean, what's the point in the Performance Center and Evolve and all these things where we're trying to teach people how to be wrestlers if you're just going to have a celebrity like Jelly Roll just spend a couple of months there and then get to go to SummerSlam? Like, you're kind of like, you're talking about how highly trained these people are, and then in the same breath, you're presenting us people that are not highly trained. That's the hypocrisy of it. That you love to talk about how highly trained and how amazing these superstars are. You present them as people that are like larger than life, not anyone can do this kind of situation. These are the best of the best. These are the creme de la creme. They are the most athletic. They are, the most agile. They're the most powerful. These are just gods amongst men. And you kind of present them in that way. But then on the same show, present some people that have only trained for a couple of months and can go toe-to-toe with these people. And that just does not make never has made sense to me. Doesn't make sense to me. And we've had this conversation so many times. I'd imagine people are passing out as they're listening to me talk. So, yeah, I mean, I get celebrity involvement. I just would rather they do what they are trained at and what they are best known for. If you're a singer and you're a successful singer, come and sing a song, If you're an actor and you're like a famous actor that's going to bring some attention, come and be a guest timekeeper, come and be a guest commentator, come and be a guest announcer, come and be a guest interviewer, come and be someone at ringside. Maybe get involved if you want to, in the sense of, are you going to pass a chair over? Are you going to trip someone over as they're against the ropes? Like, the kind of the stuff Mr. Fuji was doing, and the stuff that Jim Cornette would do, and those kinds of things, outside interference-y stuff. I'm okay with that. I don't think you need to be highly trained to trip someone over. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them like potentially passing weapons and chairs and all this kind of stuff. For me, it's a very different beast if they're going to step into the ring and actually have a match. Do you know what I mean? And I'm meant to think that they can go toe to toe with, I mean, at some point we're going to have Jelly Roll in there with Drew McIntyre, It's kind of like, surely Jelly Roll gets smashed. I'll be, do you know what? One thing I will say about that match and celebrity matches in general is it will be very interesting to see how they present it, because the conundrum that I'm presenting to you and talking to you about is the same conundrum WWE have when they're booking these matches. There are levels to this game, and WWE have to make sure that their talent is protected in these matches. They have to make sure that their talent, if their talent is going to lose, it's because of some kind of shenanigan. I mean, look at all the outside interference in the street fight between Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. We had Savio Vega flipping coming down. We had the LWO coming down. Like, it was just, there was so much outside interference. And that's because Damian had to be protected, because the conundrum that we're presenting is the conundrum that the creative team have when they're booking. So that match will be interesting in regards to how are they going to present it, how are they going to book it, how are they going to present or protect the wrestler that loses. I don't care about protecting Logan. I'd have no problem with Jelly Roll smashing Logan around, right? Don't give her a flip. But how's Jelly Roll and Drew? What are you going to do in that moment? What are you going to do with Randy and Logan? Because I ain't buying that Logan can go toe-to-toe with Randy Orton. I ain't buying that. Maybe you might buy that. I ain't buying that. So, when it comes to the celebrities getting involved, how do you present them? How are you going? It's got some intrigue in that regard. But I'm not interested in any of the other stuff. But honestly, I've seen so many celebrity matches now, and we've complained about this so many times that it's like, I'm going to watch the match. We'll see how it's presented, and it'll be what it'll be. Yeah, It'll be what it'll be. It's one of those where it's honestly, and this is going to be ironic coming from me, it's honestly not worth getting upset about. It's never going to go away. It's never going to stop. They're always going to bring in celebrities. And, you know, that's it. It's always going to be this way. Tay-Sign said Jelly Roll hitting a snap power slam on Logan. Bucket. Right. We're done. We have gone over a little bit and we are done. Big Time said Jelly Roll's legs look a bit shot. Props to him, though, for losing so much weight. But his legs look like they lack a bit of mobility. Listen, he's going to get in there. He's going to do the best he can. Yeah? No doubt about that. He'll get in and he'll want to give a good account of himself. The last thing he's going to want is he's going to want people saying he gave a bad match and that he was bad and it was rubbish and all this sort of stuff. So WWE are going to work their little socks off to make that match as entertaining as possible. And I will predict now that coming out of that match, people will say that was all right. You know, that was pretty good. I enjoyed it for what it was. I bet that is the reaction to that match because WWE are going to want to make sure that these celebrities look good. The celebrities are going to want to give a good account of themselves. WWE will make sure every shenanigan in the book is played if needed. And yeah, even if his legs are stick thin, they'll find a way. They'll do something. When you can write anything you want to happen, and you can, you know, you've got that power to kind of take the match in any direction you want it to go, and you can have anyone interfere, and, you know, you can have you can have Drew on a bad day, and, you know, you could have Drew arriving with a cold, where he's like, I just feel rubbish. I feel so bad, but I'm Drew McIntyre and I'm going to fight through this. Like, he could get in the ring, like, completely shot. He could get in the ring, like, operating with just 10% of what he normally does. And you've got the ability to do that because the pen is so powerful. You know, you can write anything. That they'll make it work. They'll find a way. Right, there we go. I'm done. I'm going to go and work on Unseen and stuff like that. So appreciate people joining us. I didn't think this was the strongest episodes of Evolve, but it is a episode that still had its moments. And I agree with you lot. You said like 6, something like that. It's just we've seen some Evolves that are like well in the 7s and, you know, even knocking on the 8 level. And maybe that'll be next week when we get the Women's Championship match. So there we go. Main event, you lot scored as good 94. So thanks a lot for watching. Appreciate it. And I will see you again next time. Bye for now.